Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine, like, turning a childhood thing, playing video games, into $1 million business while you're still basically a kid, maybe not even done with college.
Right. It sounds kind of wild.
It does. And today, we're going to dive deep into that world, specifically Roblox game development. There are some surprising truths behind what makes games successful on that platform.
Yeah, you shared some really interesting stuff from YouTube. It's not just about, cool graphics or throwing a ton of money at ads, apparently.
Exactly. It goes way deeper.
Wow.
So to really get a handle on this, we've got two main viewpoints we're looking at today. First up, there's this video from Alvin Blocks. He kind of lays out these key strategies for making a popular Roblox game, almost like a blueprint, you know?
Like the how-to guide.
Yeah. And then providing this really fascinating sort of real-world angle, we have a video from Starter Story.
Ah, right. The one that gives you an inside look at these young developers, some barely out of their teens, who are actually making millions, like serious money. Seriously.
Yeah.
It takes it from theory to, well, actual success stories you can see.
Yeah, tangible results.
Precisely. So our mission here is to pull out the most important bits from both of these sources. We want to give you a clear picture of what really drives success in the Roblox world.
Whether you're maybe thinking about developing something yourself or you're just curious about how this whole ecosystem works.
Or maybe you're just looking for that next kind of aha moment. We should have you covered. So let's kick things off with what Alvin Block says is like the absolute foundation of any hit Roblox game, the solid core loop.
The core loop. Yeah, Alvin Blocks basically defines this as the fundamental cycle of actions, the stuff players do over and over that keeps them hooked, and this is key, makes them want to come back.
It's like the engine of the game.
Exactly. If that engine isn't compelling, isn't fun, players just, they won't stick around.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
He really stresses that this loop needs to give you like consistent satisfaction every time you do it. And it has to give players a really clear reason to log back in tomorrow and the day after.
Right. He gives some good examples too, like, collecting stuff, upgrading it, unlocking new areas or items, trading with other players, even just decorating your own space.
That feeling of progression or personalization.
Yeah, it's all about creating that ongoing cycle that keeps you wanting more.
And what's really interesting is that need for a reason to return. Alvin Blocks warns against making games that you can basically finish in one sitting.
Like a simple obby, an obstacle course, fun for maybe 10 minutes, but then what?
Right. If there's no twist, no reason to do it again, its lifespan is going to be pretty short.
But he also points out, and this is important, that even simple game types can be huge hits if they nail that replayability factor. Tower of Hell is the example he uses.
Yeah, that game's huge.
Right. At its core, it's just an obby. But they add leaderboards, daily challenges, different modes. It constantly feels fresh, and you always want one more try.
It gives you that incentive to keep coming back, to beat your score, or just see what's new today.
We see this naturally in other genres too, like sports games or FPS games on Roblox. Alvin Blocks mentions this.
Because you're always playing against different people, right? So
Yeah.
the experience is never exactly the same. That variation just builds in the replay value.
So, bottom line from Alvin Blocks on this. If you're thinking about making a Roblox game, you have to ask yourself, does this game give players a real reason, a hook, to make them want to log in again tomorrow?
Crack that core loop, and you've got a solid foundation.
Definitely. Now, building on that idea of keeping players engaged, he also talks about replayability and depth.
And he makes a really key point here. Getting that replayability doesn't mean you need to spend like months and months developing tons of complex features.
Right. It's not just about sheer volume.
No. Even simple games can have surprising depth. It's about being smart, strategic, and how you design the core gameplay and how players progress.
Exactly. Quality over just quantity of content. It's about those core mechanics and giving players meaningful reasons to keep playing.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, Alvin Blocks brings up something really fundamental. Passion.
Yeah, this might sound obvious, but he really argues that you, as the developer, have to genuinely love playing your own game.
Like, be addicted to it yourself.
Kinda. If you're not logging in daily, testing, tweaking, just playing it because it's fun for you, then you're probably missing something important.
That makes sense. He says players can almost like feel the developer's passion and it comes through in the game.
It's infectious, yeah. Plus, he makes a practical point. Games need ongoing work after launch, right? Updates, maintenance.
Oh yeah, it never really ends.
So you'd better enjoy working on it, otherwise you're just going to burn out fast. If your heart's not in it, that constant effort will become a real chore.
Totally. Okay, let's tackle something many new devs might think is the magic bullet: marketing. Alvin Blocks has some pretty direct advice here. Yeah, he basically says, forget the idea that throwing a load of money at ads will magically fix a bad game.
It won't work.
Not really. You might get an initial spike, sure, lots of players trying it out because they saw an ad, but if the game itself, the core loop, isn't fun or engaging...
They'll leave just as fast.
Exactly. And you've just burned through your marketing budget for nothing.
So his advice is, nail that core loop first. Get the basic mechanics tight.
Right. Start small, test it with friends, a small group, watch them play, get their honest feedback, and then refine before you even think about a big ad spend.
This focus on organic growth seems really key. He talks about starting small, building a community, maybe on Discord.
Fostering that early group.
And just letting the fun of the game itself drive the growth. He uses Please Donate as an example. Started small, like 100 players, that just exploded organically into this massive hit.
It's a great example. Shows how a strong, fun concept can just spread on its own.
Totally. Now, building on this, Alvin Blocks talks about what he calls the holy trinity for the Roblox algorithm.
Ah, yes. Session length, retention, and monetization. These three things are apparently super important because they're what the Roblox algorithm looks at to decide which games to promote.
So session length is how long people play each time they log in.
Retention is how often they come back. Daily, weekly, whatever.
And monetization is, well, how you make money from them playing.
And the really successful games, they nail all three. It's not enough just to get players in. They need to stay, they need to return, and ideally, they need to spend some Robux.
But he's clear it's not about forcing them or using pay-to-win stuff, right?
No, definitely not. It's more about offering things players want. Convenience items are a big one, things that make the game smoother or faster but don't give an unfair advantage.
Like teleporters or speed boosts.
Yeah, exactly. And cosmetics, too. Letting players customize their look. If someone's really invested, they often want to express themselves.
And he ties session length and retention straight back to that core loop again. If the game stays fun, for new players and veterans.
They'll naturally stick around longer and come back more often. It makes sense.
He warns, though, if players are bouncing within the first 5 minutes, that's a huge red flag. Your loop, or maybe the tutorial isn't working.
Which is where that playtesting and feedback loop becomes critical again. You got to figure out why they're leaving.
Absolutely. Which leads nicely into his points on smart monetization.
Right. He really doubles down here. The goal isn't to squeeze money out of players or make it pay to win.
It's about making the game so good
That players genuinely want to spend money, to support the game, to enhance their own fun.
offering convenience, like we said, speed ups, maybe boosts, things that feel satisfying to buy.
Yeah. That first purchase is apparently really important. You want it to feel good, make them feel like they got value, so they might spend again later.
And the ultimate goal, he suggests, is to create whales.
Which sounds kind of intense, but it just means those super dedicated players who love the game so much, they'll spend significant amounts without really thinking twice.
Okay, moving on. He also highlights the huge power of social features on Roblox.
Well, yeah, Roblox is inherently social, right? So it makes sense that multiplayer games generally do really well.
But even if your game is mainly single player, he says adding social elements can be a big boost. Like trading items or gifting things, or just having a good chat system.
Anything that connects players.
Because making a game fun to play with friends is like the ultimate viral marketing tool. He calls it CCU snowballing.
Concurrent users, yeah.
More players bring in their friends who bring in their friends. It just grows exponentially. That social factor can massively boost the organic growth.
Okay, another key area.
Yeah.
The balance between innovation and familiarity.
This is a tricky one. He says the next big hit will probably be something fresh, something unique.
But especially if you're new, don't go too crazy with innovation. It can get confusing for players, or just be really risky to develop something totally untested.
So what's the sweet spot?
He suggests taking inspiration from games that are already successful games people already understand and then adding your own twist, like 80% familiar, 20% new.
Okay, so players get the basics quickly, but there's still something novel to keep them interested.
Exactly. He used the example of a tycoon game, which is super common on Roblox.
Everyone knows tycoons.
But maybe you add an exploration element or a digging mechanic instead of just passively waiting for money to stack up. It's familiar, but with an engaging twist.
That makes sense. Blend the known with the new. Okay, finally, Alvin Blocks adds a kind of bonus tip about just getting started.
Yeah, basically, done is better than perfect. Don't get stuck overthinking and trying to perfect every little detail before you launch.
He mentioned some of his own biggest hits were pretty simple concepts, like tycoons. He didn't overthink them, just made them fun and got them out there.
It's all about speed of iteration. Get a basic testable version out, the MVP, minimum viable product, get feedback, update, repeat.
Get it to market fast, see how players react, and improve based on that real data.
Exactly. Learn and adapt quickly.
Okay, so just to recap Alvin Blocks' main points real quick. Strong core loop is essential. Build in replayability. Have passion for your own game. Don't just rely on ads, especially early on. Start small, grow organically, master session length, retention, monetization, that holy trinity.
Monetize smartly, focus on player value, leverage social features, innovate, but maybe stick to that 80-20 rule, and importantly, get a playable version out there fast. Iterate.
And as final check, ask yourself honestly, would you and your friends genuinely enjoy playing this, and is there a reason you'd want to come back tomorrow?
If the answer's no, you've got work to do on that core idea, powerful stuff.
Definitely. Okay, that's a great look at the how-to. Now let's switch gears and look at the starter story video. I spent 24 hours with Roblox millionaires. This gives us that on-the-ground view of people actually making big money.
Yeah, this one's fascinating. It starts with Cole and his friends, Ian and Jake. They all live together in Austin, apparently making millions from Roblox Games and related businesses.
The interviewer, Pat Walls, even says he was pretty skeptical at first, which, is understandable.
Totally. Millions from Roblox. It sounds almost too good to be true for a lot of people.
So let's look at their stories. Cole started playing way back 2013, started making money at 16, then instead of college, went full-time developing at 18.
Wow. And now he's like a top 50 developer with 1 million daily active users. That's huge. Mostly kids in the US and Canada, apparently.
And his brother, Ian, has a wild story too. Made this game Big to Baby. It had a different, more controversial name before.
Ah, right. Baked the Baby, I think.
Yeah, that was it. He made it during a college winter break. It went viral, got like 100 million views, partly because of the name and concept.
And he made enough money to just drop out of college.
Yep, dropped out and went full-time on Roblox too, both originally from Ohio, now in Austin.
And then there's Jake, their friend. He doesn't make games directly, right?
No, he runs a marketing agency called Vector 3. But it's specifically for brands wanting to get onto Roblox.
Oh, interesting niche.
Super niche.
Yeah.
They do video trailers, social media stuff. Apparently worked with Nicki Minaj and SpongeBob on Roblox projects. Made like over 450 videos. 100 million plus views.
That's impressive. It shows there's this whole ecosystem growing around Roblox, not just within it. Brands need help navigating that space.
Definitely. Before getting into their specific businesses, they kind of explain the Roblox economy.
Yeah, they call it YouTube for video games. Anyone can make and upload a game.
And the currency is Robux. Players buy it to get power-ups, skins, all that stuff. Yeah. Developers earn the Robux.
Which they can then cash out for real money, the DevX program, right?
Exactly. And they mentioned this growing trend of big brands sponsoring games now, using Roblox for interactive marketing.
It makes sense given the audience reach.
Oh, the scale is just mind-blowing. They dropped this stat. 1 in 2 kids under 16 in the US plays Roblox daily.
1 in 2 daily. That's staggering.
Right. Globally, it's 400 million monthly active users. And get this, kids apparently spend twice as much time on Roblox as on TikTok.
Wow. And they use TikTok to find new Roblox games.
Yeah, so the platforms kind of feed each other. It shows how integrated this stuff is in kids' lives.
And they think Roblox is just getting started, right? Like, it's still early days.
They really do. They say it's just the tip of the iceberg because this whole generation is growing up on Roblox. It's their native platform.
And they talk about unlocking demographics.
Yeah, like the game Dress to Impress brought in a lot of older girls, suggesting there's potential to reach older players, maybe older males next, groups that aren't the core audience right now.
And Mr. Beast getting involved is seen as a huge signal.
Massive endorsement. If Mr. Beast is betting on Roblox, he sees something big there. It points to it becoming a truly major platform.
Okay, so let's talk specifics. Cole's game, or die. Top 100 game, he says.
Yeah, at the time they filmed, they had like 13,000 people playing right then. Concurrent players. and about 1 million daily actives overall.
And it's interesting, Cole's not the main coder, right? He does UI, the building side.
Exactly. User interface, the look and feel. He has a business partner who handles the programming. This shows you need different skills on a team.
Definitely. UI UX is crucial for player experience, but you need the code to make it work.
So his earnings, he shows his account, has around 6 million Robux in it.
And 1 million Robux is about $3,500 US.
Roughly, yeah. So that 6 million was about $15,000 he'd earned so far that month, just from Or Die.
Just from that one game. And it had only been out for like 6 months.
Yeah. And it was making around $45,000 a month total at that point.
That's serious money, but it wasn't always easy, right? He mentioned failures.
Oh, yeah. He apparently sunk $500,000, $500,000 into 2 projects that failed. One was another Roblox game, led to serious burnout.
Ouch. That's a tough lesson.
Big time. He said seeing his brother Ian's fast success with Big to Baby taught him the value of iterating quickly, testing constantly. Don't overinvest before you know something works.
Makes sense. So his total earnings for the month were looking like maybe $70,000, split with his partner.
Yeah, around that. And then costs on top, accountant, lawyer, maybe $5 a month for contractors like modelers, designers.
Still, very healthy profit margins. And interesting that he says it's mostly organic growth, like YouTube, not relying on ads.
All right, he has this framework for top Roblox games. Clickability, got to have a catchy title, dramatic thumbnail, social gameplay, got to be fun with others, and replayability, make people curious, give them progression.
Sounds a lot like Alvin Blox's points, actually. Core loop, social, retention.
Very similar, yeah. Now, Ian's game, Bathe the Baby, how does that one make money?
Mostly through a daily shop selling cosmetic skins like pigeon skins, cow skins for the babies,
Okay.
and selling virtual coins. Players use the coins to buy those skins, or abilities like summoning meteors or turning invisible.
And he gets good revenue per player.
Yeah, remarkably high average revenue per paying user, around $1.50. With about 150,000 daily players, that puts it near the top 200 games.
And the income.
Around $25,000 a month, also split 50-50 with a partner. Plus he gets brand deals, maybe another $5,000 per deal on average.
Wow. And his team is small too.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 contributors, mostly modelers and graphic designers. Again, pretty lean operation for that kind of revenue.
Okay, lastly, Jake's marketing agency, Vector 3. What were his numbers looking like?
He said they were on track for about $36,000 that month. A good chunk, maybe 25K, comes from retainers clients paying a fixed monthly fee, the rest from specific projects.
And his costs.
Around $10,000 to $15,000 a month. That covers 2 full-time employees and his contractor network.
And he runs it all remotely, using Discord.
Yeah, Discord for chat, and they built their own kind of project management system with templates and standard procedures, even video tutorials to keep things efficient.
Smart. How does he get clients? LinkedIn.
Mostly. He shares educational stuff, showcases their work, says he avoids cold outreach. He also does paid consulting calls, which sometimes turn into bigger projects.
Interesting lead gen strategy. He has this whole philosophy about building a business without college, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Follow what you're interested in. Try to get really good at it, maybe freelance first to build skills and a portfolio.
And focus on the work itself, not just like the idea of being an entrepreneur.
Exactly. He emphasizes how learning different skills, even seemingly unrelated ones, like his video editing from making game montages as a kid, can unexpectedly lead to success later on.
It's a great point about transferable skills.
Yeah.
The video also gives a peek into their daily lives.
And it's kind of surprisingly normal, maybe even a bit boring from the outside looking in.
Yeah, no crazy millionaire lifestyle depicted. They wake up kind of late, slow mornings.
Then focused work for 4 or 5 hours, headphones on, at their desks. Clear separation between work and relaxing.
They mentioned needing that mental space, time to just think, helps with making better business decisions.
And the value of having those like-minded friends around. Bouncing ideas off each other, support. They even talked about how they first connected.
With awkward weekly Google calls.
Yeah, but those awkward calls were invaluable for building that connection.
Their advice for finding people online to collaborate with.
Basically, embrace the awkwardness.
Yeah.
Be persistent when reaching out. And focus on building real relationships, not just transactional ones. It's about shared interests.
Good advice. So, wrapping this all up, what are the big takeaways?
Well, definitely that compelling core loop is king. Player engagement, retention that comes before worrying about massive ad spends.
Yeah, prioritize the fun first. And the power of community, Social features on Roblox can't be overstated.
And passion. You gotta love what you're building. That came through from both Alvin Blocks and the starter story, guys.
Absolutely. We also saw the, frankly, incredible money being made in this space. And not just by making games, but by supporting the ecosystem too, like Jake's agency.
Yeah, diverse paths to success. Cole, Ian, Jake all took slightly different routes.
And the big aha, for me maybe, is that it's not just luck or big budgets. It's about understanding players, iterating fast based on feedback, and just building something people genuinely enjoy coming back to.
Right, and the stories of those guys show how having diverse skills, being willing to learn, adapt,
Yeah.
that's crucial in this fast-moving digital world.
So maybe a final thought for you listening.
Yeah.
Think about your own interests, your passions. Could these ideas, engagement, community, core loops apply elsewhere?
What's the core loop in your own project, your work, even your hobbies? How could you make people want to return, interact more deeply?
Because the Roblox world, yeah, it's about games, but
Right.
the lessons about creating value, building connections, they feel surprisingly universal, don't they?
They really do. Some fascinating insights all around.